Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today, we're going to be looking at how AI is already changing how we learn and work.
It's really amazing stuff.
Yeah, and to help us break it all down, we've got this super interesting essay. It's called Tutorias, Asesorías y Prácticas IA.
Yeah, it's packed with real-world examples. It's really cool.
Yeah, and honestly, I was blown away by some of the things in here. And it's not like futuristic sci-fi stuff.
Yeah.
This is happening right now. AI is already transforming education and professional development.
Absolutely. It's not just a thing of the future. It's happening as we speak.
So are you ready to dive in and see some specific examples?
Oh, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Awesome. So the essay kicks off by focusing on personalized learning. And, it makes sense. Imagine, a world where education just adapts to your individual needs.
Right.
Like no more one-size-fits-all classrooms.
Yeah, that's a really cool concept. The essay does a great job of, making AI accessible and understandable.
Yeah.
And it really shows how this technology is being used, like today, to create these tailored learning experiences.
Yeah, so let's get into some of those examples. I know the essay talks a lot about platforms like Smart Sparrow and Dreambox.
Yes. These platforms use AI to basically create these adaptive learning paths.
Okay.
Like, let's say you're struggling with algebra.
Okay.
These platforms can actually modify the lessons and kind of zero in on that area until you've got it down.
So it's really like having a personal tutor almost who can pinpoint your exact needs.
Exactly. It's about making sure that you really understand the material before moving on, not just keeping up with the class, but actually grasping it.
Right. And I know the essay highlights how this kind of support can actually make a real difference in whether students succeed or not.
It does. And
Yeah.
there's a great example from Georgia State University. They used an AI-powered chatbot called Pounce. It was like a 247 virtual tutor for students.
Whoa, chatbot.
Yeah. And it could answer questions, provide support, and even help students with like administrative hurdles.
So did it actually work?
It's pretty remarkable. They actually saw a decrease in student dropout rates after implementing this chatbot.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah, it really shows how important it is to have that kind of support available whenever you need.
Especially, yeah, if you're feeling lost or struggling. Okay, so we've got personalized tutoring, but sometimes, learning can feel like a chore, right? How do we make it more engaging?
Well, remember Cahoots?
Of course.
It's not just a fun game anymore. They've actually integrated AI to personalize the experience. So it can recommend specific educational activities and kind of turn learning into these interactive games and challenges.
That are tailored to your skill level. I love that. It's like instead of just memorizing facts, you're actually applying knowledge and you're having fun while you're doing it.
Yeah. And the best part is it's not just happening in a few select schools or countries.
Right.
Like the National Autonomous University of Mexico, UNAM, they implemented a similar AI-based tutoring system, and it drastically reduced wait times for students who needed extra help.
So it's not just some high-tech experiment, it's actually making education more accessible.
Exactly. And effective.
Yeah, and you know what? It's not just about tutoring. The essay also talks about AI revolutionizing career guidance. And to be honest, I was skeptical at first.
It does sound pretty futuristic.
Yeah, like how can an algorithm tell you what career path to take?
Well, think about how we're already using platforms like LinkedIn, right?
Right.
To connect with people in different fields and kind of explore career options. Well, AI can take that to a whole new level.
Okay, now you've got my attention. So how does it actually work?
So there's this thing called LinkedIn's Career Explorer, and it basically analyzes your skills, looks at your experience, and then suggests careers that align with, what you're good at and also what's happening in the job market.
So it's not just about browsing through job postings. It's like targeted and specific.
Right, exactly. Like, let's say you're a programmer. This tool could recommend roles in, data analysis, software development, even emerging fields like AI ethics, all based on real-time data.
It's almost like having a personalized career counselor in your pocket.
It really is. And the essay also talks about this other tool that's a total game changer for anyone doing research, whether it's for school, work, or just personal interest.
Oh, tell me about this.
Have you heard of Site.ai?
I haven't. No, what is that?
It's amazing. Basically, it helps you find relevant research sources.
Yeah.
But it goes beyond just, basic keyword matching.
No.
The algorithms can actually evaluate the quality of the research.
Whoa, hold on. So it's not just finding articles, it's actually telling you how credible they are.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It classifies them as supporting, contradicting, or mixed based on how other researchers have cited them.
So it's like a crowdsourced peer review system, but automated and on a massive scale. That's insane.
I know, right? It's a game changer, especially for students who are still learning how to evaluate research.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we've got AI personalizing tutoring, helping us find careers, and even assessing the quality of research.
That's right. But it doesn't stop there. The essay also talks about how AI is transforming mentorship.
Oh, okay. AI mentorships. I have to admit, that sounds a little impersonal to me.
It's not about replacing human mentors.
Right.
It's about making mentorship more accessible. So there are platforms like MentorCliQ, and they use AI to like connect students with mentors based on their shared interests, skills, career goals, that kind of thing.
So it's like a matchmaking service for mentors and mentees.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool, and it could be really helpful for students who don't have those kinds of connections already. Are there any examples of this actually working?
Yeah, actually.
Hmm.
The Indian government, they teamed up with Intel to launch this program called AI for Youth, and they're using AI-powered advisors to help students develop like social impact projects.
Wow, that's really cool. Like what kind of projects?
Well, one example that comes to mind is a group of students who developed an app to improve logistics in rural hospitals.
Wow, so they're actually using their AI skills to solve real-world problems.
Exactly. And making a real difference.
That's amazing. So AI's impact is far beyond just like tutoring and guidance. This essay really dives into how it's transforming the workplace too, especially when it comes to internships.
Right, and that's where it gets really interesting.
Okay, I'm hooked. Tell me more.
So imagine this. You're an intern at a major company, and instead of, just getting coffee and making copies,
Right.
you're thrown into this super realistic business simulation. Like, you're making strategic decisions, managing budgets, running marketing campaigns,
Wait, seriously?
all without any real-world consequences.
That's incredible. It's like a risk-free training ground.
Exactly. That's the power of AI-powered business simulations. There's this one called CapSim. It's pretty popular. They give interns hands-on experience in a safe space where they can really develop their skills.
So it's not about replacing interns, it's about making their experience more valuable.
Exactly. And in fields like marketing, AI is becoming indispensable. Interns are using platforms like Google Analytics and HubSpot, both of which use AI, to analyze customer behavior, predict trends, and develop marketing strategies based on data.
That's some seriously valuable experience, especially in today's data-driven world.
And it's not just limited to, tech and marketing. Even the automotive industry is embracing AI for internships. Like BMW in Germany is using AI simulations to train their interns in automotive design.
Wait, so they're designing cars virtually?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They work in these immersive environments where they can design prototypes, test out concepts, even collaborate with other interns remotely.
That sounds like something out of a movie. So we've seen AI personalize learning, help with careers, assess research, revolutionize mentorships, and even transform internships. It's incredible how many different ways it's being used.
I know, it's really remarkable. As we explore all these different applications, I'm curious, is there anything that stands out to you? Like, are there any connections or shared applications?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that too. And you know what's really interesting? I think there's a lot of overlap between tutoring and internships.
You're right. Like,
Yeah.
there are AI-powered simulations that are being used in both educational settings and internships. For example, Labster, which uses VR.
Oh, cool.
Biotechnology students can use it to practice experiments in a simulated environment before actually working in a real lab.
That's a perfect example of how AI is bridging the gap between theoretical knowledge and practical application. What else?
Well, think about how AI is being used for both personalized learning and predictive analysis. Platforms like Coursera use AI to suggest specific lessons based on your past performance. Well, it's similar to how AI is used in career guidance to identify areas where you might need extra support.
It's like a personalized roadmap for your learning and career development. Are there any real-world examples of that integrated approach?
There's a really cool example from a university in Canada. The students are learning basic AI skills during tutoring sessions, and then they actually apply those skills to solve real-world problems during their internships.
So it's like this seamless transition from learning to applying,
Yeah.
all thanks to AI. This is also fascinating. We've seen how AI is impacting individual learning and career paths, but I'm also curious about the bigger picture. Like, how are universities and businesses as a whole embracing AI?
Right. Well, Stanford University is a great example. They're using this platform called the EdTech AI Lab, which personalizes tutoring, particularly in STEM fields.
And how's it working out for them?
It's been incredibly successful. They've actually seen a 30% reduction in the average time it takes students to master complex concepts like, linear algebra.
Wow, that's amazing. So universities are really seeing the potential here.
Absolutely. And it's not just universities. A lot of them are forming partnerships with businesses to really integrate AI into their curriculum and internships.
Hmm.
Like Microsoft is collaborating with universities in Latin America to offer internships where students can get hands-on experience with tools like Azure AI.
So it's a win-win for everyone involved. Students get to learn cutting-edge technology, and businesses get access to talented individuals with those specific skills.
Exactly. And a lot of the big tech companies are leading the charge.
Mm.
Google, for example, has this really competitive AI internship program, and the students get to work on projects like improving search algorithms or developing virtual assistants.
Wow, that sounds like an incredible opportunity.
Yeah, and SAP is using its Qualtrics platform to train interns in customer experience management.
Oh, interesting.
So they're learning how to interpret data, analyze customer feedback, make data-driven decisions, all using AI-powered tools.
So it's like a real-world application of those skills.
Right.
Okay, so we've gone from personalized learning to global initiatives, and it's clear that AI is not just a futuristic concept, it's happening right now.
It is. And it's just the tip of the iceberg.
I know. But before we get too carried away with visions of the future, let's take a moment to recap what we've learned so far.
Okay.
So we've seen how AI is revolutionizing education with personalized tutoring, interactive learning, and tools that help us find and evaluate research. It's making learning more accessible, engaging, and effective.
Right. And on the professional development side, AI is changing how we find careers and get mentorship, and it's also transforming the internship experience.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see how it's all coming together. But of course, with any powerful technology, we need to be mindful of the potential downsides too.
Absolutely. There are definitely some challenges and ethical considerations that we need to address as AI becomes more integrated into our lives.
Right, and that's exactly what we're going to explore next. We'll be back after a quick break to dive into the potential challenges and future implications of AI in education and the workplace. Stay tuned. So we just explored some seriously impressive ways AI is being used, but I'm kind of curious about the potential downsides too. Like, we can't just ignore the challenges, right?
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
With any powerful technology, there are always considerations. And when it comes to AI, one of the big ones is equity.
Yeah, making sure everyone has access, right?
Exactly. We've seen how AI can, personalize learning, help students find better research. But what about those who just don't have access to these tools in the first place?
Right, like students in rural communities or developing countries who might not have reliable internet or the latest devices. It almost seems like it could make the digital divide even worse.
Yeah, and it's not just about physical access either. It's also about digital literacy.
Yeah.
Students need the skills to navigate this digital world, to critically evaluate the information they're seeing online, especially as AI-generated content becomes more common.
It's like we almost need a whole new curriculum on digital citizenship.
Right, like teaching them how to use these tools responsibly and ethically. That's going to be crucial.
Absolutely. And speaking of the future, one of the big questions around AI is its impact on teachers. Some people worry that AI will eventually replace them altogether.
Yeah, there's definitely that fear. But I think the essay offers a more nuanced perspective.
Okay, so what does it say?
It argues that AI is more likely to augment the role of educators, not replace them.
Oh.
Like
Oh.
imagine AI handling tasks like grading, providing personalized feedback to students, even generating customized lesson plans.
So instead of spending hours grading papers, teachers could use that time to, actually connect with students, offer more individualized support.
Exactly. It's about freeing them up to focus on what they do best, mentoring, inspiring a love of learning, things AI can't do.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like shifting from being a dispenser of information to becoming more of a facilitator.
Right.
Okay, so what about the workplace? How do you see AI impacting jobs and the skills people will need?
Well, it's definitely going to bring about some changes. And as with education, I think the key is collaboration, not competition.
So instead of worrying about AI taking our jobs, we should be thinking about how we can work alongside AI.
Absolutely. Think about it. AI can handle the repetitive tasks, freeing up human workers to focus on, the more complex, creative, strategic work.
So it's not about being replaced, it's about elevating our roles.
Exactly. The essay highlights the importance of skills that are uniquely human, like critical thinking, problem solving, creativity, communication, emotional intelligence.
Yeah, those are skills that no machine can replicate, at least not yet.
Right.
And it's interesting because it's almost like AI is pushing us to become more human, more focused on those things that set us apart from machine.
I love that. It's about embracing our human strengths and using AI to enhance them.
So, what does this all mean for someone listening right now, like a student just starting their career or someone thinking about a career change? What can they do to prepare for this future?
Well, I think the most important thing is to have that mindset of lifelong learning. The world is changing so quickly, and the skills that are in demand today might be obsolete tomorrow.
So, it's not just about getting that degree and calling it a day, it's about constantly learning and adapting.
Exactly. And the great thing is, there are so many resources available now to support that. Online courses, open source software, tutorials, the possibilities are endless.
So, embrace the change, stay curious, and never stop learning. That's good advice for anyone, really, AI or no AI. But before we move on, I want to get your take on some of the future possibilities of AI,
Okay.
because the essay touched on a few, and they were pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah, there's some really exciting stuff on the horizon. One area that I'm particularly interested in is personalized learning, but taken to a whole new level,
Okay, deeper than what we're seeing now.
much deeper. Imagine AI systems that can not only adapt to your learning style, but actually understand your emotional state, your motivation levels, even your ethical framework.
So it's like having an AI tutor who not only teaches you, but really gets you.
Exactly. And that level of personalization could extend beyond education,
Yeah.
into healthcare, work, even social interactions.
That's both exciting and a little unnerving, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. But as we've been talking about, it's crucial to approach these developments thoughtfully, ethically, and make sure AI is used to benefit everyone.
Right, it's not a destiny, it's something we're shaping right now.
Well said.
With every decision we make, every policy, every conversation.
It's a shared responsibility. It's going
Huh?
to take a global effort to get this right.
Well, this has been an incredible conversation, but before we wrap up, I have one final question for you. Knowing what you know about the potential of AI, what's one thing you hope to see it achieve in the future?
That's a good question. For me, I would love to see AI used to tackle some of the biggest challenges we're facing. Climate change, poverty, inequality.
Using AI for good, basically.
Exactly. It has the potential to revolutionize so many fields, from healthcare to sustainability. It's up to us to make sure it's used for the right purposes.
That's a future worth fighting for. And on that note, I think we'll leave our listeners with a final thought-provoking question. How can you leverage AI to make a positive impact on the world? We've covered so much ground in this deep dive. It's amazing to think about how AI is changing, well, everything, really.
From classrooms to, the potential to solve these huge global challenges.
Yeah, one of the things that really stuck with me was this idea of AI not replacing us, but like amplifying what we can do.
Totally. We get so caught up in this fear of AI taking over, but the real power is in how it can enhance our abilities, create these new possibilities.
Right. So instead of worrying about becoming obsolete, we should be focusing on how we can use AI to become even better.
Exactly. Like doctors using AI to make more accurate diagnoses, architects designing more sustainable buildings.
I love those examples.
When we start thinking of AI as a collaborative tool, it's really exciting.
It's like it can handle all the tedious stuff so we can focus on the more creative, strategic, human-centered work.
And that shift is going to require us to, double down on those uniquely human skills.
Totally. The things that machines can't do. Critical thinking, empathy, creativity, problem solving.
And the essay does a great job of explaining why those skills are going to be even more valuable in an AI-driven world.
It's not just about staying employed, it's about thriving, both individually and as a society.
Right. AI has the potential to make our lives so much better, but it's on us to guide its development and make sure it's used ethically.
So it's about the choices we make, the values we embed in the technology.
It's a conversation we need to be having everywhere, not just in tech circles, classrooms, boardrooms, government.
It's everyone's responsibility, really.
And the more we understand about AI, its potential, but also its limitations, the better decisions we'll make.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's one key takeaway you hope our listeners will remember? What's the most important thing they can do?
That's a tough one. I think it boils down to embracing this idea of continuous learning. The world is changing so fast, and being able to learn, unlearn, and relearn is crucial.
It's not about fearing the unknown. It's about being open to it,
That's
right?
a great way to put it. And it's not just about individual success, it's about building a future where AI benefits all of us.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive. It's been an incredible conversation.
My pleasure.
I hope everyone listening feels inspired to keep learning and exploring this amazing field. We'll see you next time for another deep dive.